So today we look at the artbook, A Middle-earth Traveler. Very nice cover by John Howe. Sketches from Bargain to Murder. So I review his Fantasy Academy book on a previous video. So I wanted to continue on the John Howe's art and pencil drawing, sketching, drawing, illustration. He has also some painting, really nice painting. So his sketching is really beautiful. Some light and shadow, and he has a very great composition skill. The foreground and a sense of flow and movement. And you see the monsters surrounding. So you can use these lines, you know, they direct in the direction of another subject of the drawing. So when you sketch, when you want to create a composition, you don't focus first on make a beautiful drawing. First you focus on the idea. So this character being attacked by monsters, but then how to make it not like flat. So you want to think about the foreground, a middle ground, and a background. You want to think about flow, about intentionality in your drawing, about strong elements, and those elements will also create a dynamic image that is interesting. So I also shared in my other videos about when you want to learn to draw, you need to learn to draw many different things. So now I'm writing a fantasy novel, and I want to later on make a manga or a comic book or illustration for the novel. So there are in my novel there are cards, but not like this, but where soldiers are in when they go from one campaign battle to a next. So they are lucky, they don't have to walk all the way. But I have to learn to draw cards, so I took some photos on Google Image about horses and carts and different kinds of carriage. So you need to learn to draw new things if you want to tell a story and create images for that story. So you have architecture and objects, nature, landscape, you know, and it's also a way to renew your interest, your curiosity about learning to draw. See, you draw tables and fish. So this kind of fish is based on a real kind of fish that are can get very big in the rivers and lakes, I think. So different types of body types for human, because if we draw like anime style, there is the trap of all the characters look the same. They are young and kind of cute or something like that. So we don't want to fall into that trap. It's okay to just begin, but as soon as you feel comfortable and you can draw some basic anime characters, just start to change. Like you draw old or kids, uh, like old woman, old man, middle age, children, teenagers, young adults, and skinny, fat, pretty, ugly, everything you change. So here is like a good example of what you can do in a sketchbook. You give yourself a subject and you train to do different types of like windows like this. And it's a study, like a detailed study, and then doing that will create a library in your brain about all kinds of windows. So later on, when you draw buildings, you have a skill and knowledge and confidence when you will draw windows. So this I want to also get into drawing interiors, because it's really very important when you want to draw manga, comics, or illustrations. You have to learn to draw interiors. So the one easy way is just to draw rooms in your place. The bathroom, the kitchen, the living room, the room, the window, balcony, or in your neighborhood. You can go in the neighborhood and draw standing or sitting down. You take a little chair with you just around the corner of your neighborhood, and you draw houses and street, and you can improve even. So and then you can switch it up. You start from reality, but then you change it into sci-fi or fantasy, or like a weird looking buildings, but you start from somewhere. Musical instrument, so it's like a study on the lore and what, like a dwarves, what instrument do they play. So very interesting. Also, you can discover musical instrument and learn to draw this as a, if you don't know what to draw for next week or something, you say, okay, I'm gonna get onto internet and find all kinds of musical instrument, and I will train to draw musical instrument. So then you train your 3D skill on a limited object, and you improve spatial 3D angle, turning around the object, drawing it in different angles. It's so beautiful. Then this is when I look at this kind of drawing, I realize, yeah, trees are not like the usual shape if you want to do drawing. If you draw the basic standing tree with a round shape or something, and it's we all kind of get guilty of this kind of stereotypical, like for colors, we have a stereotypical colors for each subject. So very twisted. Reminds me also of Final Fantasy IX wood in the early part of the game, when the ship crash and they have to escape the forest. It's very similar, twisted and claustrophobic and suffocating energy. And I think spiritually, because I talk about spirituality also a little bit in my channel, so it's a metaphor of something. Sometimes we can feel stuck in life. We are stuck into a wood. We don't know how to get out of it, you know. So we have to find a way out. And in fantasy, they have to escape the wood before they get petrified, for example, right? So it's very spiritual, because in life, if you are stuck in this kind of stuck feeling, it's like a petrification of your soul, you know, and slowly will have an impact on your health. So you have to go within, understand yourself and love yourself, and then you start to hear glimpses of what you need to change or accept about yourself. Let go of some ideas about yourself, about what happiness should be, or and so on, you know. And then the way out will reveal itself, you know. So more of this wood. So they're looking for the exit, and they're getting stuck. The spider has caught them. You could say like the spider is like a despair or negative thinking or low self-esteem or guilt about the past, guilt about what you should have done, you think you should have done, or yeah. So there's many layers of reading fantasy novels. Depends on the skill of the writer too, but there is the hero's journey and like spiritual transformation, sometimes under the superficial action level of fantasy novels. Amazing tree, huh? This is a great way to change our vision about what is a tree, you know. How do we draw a tree? We can give it personality, you know. It can be a twisted tree. It can be like a loving tree that embraces and gives shade and give flowers and fruit to living beings around it. Or it can be a tree that dries up the land, that sucks up the life energy of the land, and that it doesn't give shade, and so on. And you have nasty insects living in it that corrupts also life from that tree. They go out and they create problems for animals and plants and human beings. So very interesting way to look at any subject. What kind of energy is in there? What effect does it have on its environments? This goes a bit further with the ants, the living trees, and also they have their own personalities, but it's more like obvious on the nose because they have a human faces. I think I prefer just the vibes of the tree as trees rather than like anthropomorphic, like human like trees. but that's my kind of feeling right now. You can see the shading, cross hatching shading in different ways. Very nice. Tom Bombadil. Yeah. For me, I sketch, but I wouldn't go into like such a like realistic way of drawing. I would like to keep it a little bit more personal art, but as far as everything else goes, I really love John Howe's art. See, Tom Bombadil's art, maybe? No, Ragadast house. It's a funky magician or kind of a messy guy, but very very alive. Yeah, I really like also the bear on his human form, his bear form. It's kind of go a little bit together. Interesting. So this is like architecture details. Yeah. So his house reflects his nature with the animal kind of totems on the wooden beams and chimney, and very strong, sturdy house with big beams and big rocks. A strong guy built a strong house. Yeah, the history. So yeah, Ragadast is one of them. So you see foreground, middle ground, kind of two middle ground, going further and further. So you give some dynamics into the image. They are not all on the same layer. It's like if you would be somewhere here to draw, it would look flatter. They will be on the same line. So you think about the angle from which you draw. So you go somewhere where there is a depth and make the image composition more interesting. Saruman. Yeah, the architecture is more sharp, cold and sharp. Oh, isn't it great art there? Really cool. See, that is just a pencil, but the result is magnifique. Mountains. See the volumes of the mountain. We can really feel the topography, geology, the earth struggles. So I think even for a sketch like that is, I mean, for me, when I want to see how can I progress if I draw mountains, then I can think from this image, okay, I would think about the topography first. How is the land pushed from this angle like this in multiple layers, and draw some lines of that push and create those shapes, those 3D shapes. And then after that, from those thin lines, then I will build up the drawing. So from the mind first to some lines that follow the mind vision, and then building up towards a final piece. We have to get out of our basic first way of looking at subjects. See, this one is like converging there on some kind of plateau. See, there is a lore and storytelling going on about this mountain here. See, it's a very good book, as usual, because it's the art books I bought. I love them, so I recommend them. I recommend to buy this book to anyone who loves fantasy, drawing, Lord of the Ring, Tolkien. So we have the paintings, but I have to admit I prefer the drawings of John Howe. There's something just very special about these drawings. When they turn into paintings, you can say it looks better, but I don't know, I prefer the drawings. No hurt feeling, no bad feelings. It's just my artist heart is prefer that. You have a big so one of the eagle and Gandalf, Bilbo, maybe Bilbo. Yeah, Bilbo. Yeah, it went for like photorealistic. Is that could be a painting with some skill? You can do a painting, but yeah, very photorealistic. Misty mountains. Yeah. Goblin caves. Anyone play Dark Souls 1? Blighttown? First time in Blighttown in Dark Souls 1 is a nightmare. Poison and falling off and attacks from hidden pots and stuff. Yeah, really good in the Hobbit trilogy. I really like this setting. Really well done. So monster design here. I will later on show the art book Monster Hunter. I think it's Monster Hunter World sketches. It's interesting also in this kind of creatures. And yeah, very Blighttown. I hope the next From Software fantasy RPG, we have a big Blighttown that is really a nightmare. Elden Ring is kind of cool, but it's very open and there's many areas that are not interesting. I prefer the game design, level design of Dark Souls 1. This is my favorite, with the intricate and labyrinthic and shortcuts and more well thought locations, rather than just horse riding between places. But it's good. I mean, the map design of Elden Ring is very interesting, but I would prefer big world that is very rich everywhere. No empty spaces. So we have a town here. So we have some perspective going on. We have perspective going this way. See, going towards maybe a point somewhere around there. See, somewhere here. So we have a few more. We have another line here, some curved lines, or kind of horizon getting maybe around there, the vanishing point. So perspective is useful, but I like perspective now better than before. It's not so scary anymore for me. I took about 3 weeks, 1 month to really dedicate myself on working on perspective, to demystify it, to make it less scary. And basically you can learn 1 point, 2 points, and start to get more comfortable. Try to draw one street or crossing streets, and you don't have to be like use the ruler and go crazy. You just have a point and you do all kinds of lines, and then you don't go to geometric and like engineer, you know. It's like roughly accurate is good enough. So you keep your lines alive, not too stiff, not too straight. Keep some room for creativity. Don't become an architect making a plan, you know. Damn, very nice composition. Oh, just want to check if it's on the video. Framing is okay. Very nice town here, the lake town. See, you can find some cheap games on Steam that are like town builders. I recommend buying, instead of playing games that you seek like hundreds hours and it's like kind of a waste of your creative time. Possibly, not necessarily, but possibly. Time you could spend drawing and studying drawing and painting. So there are these like townscaper or some more like cozy countryside. There is one I think is on sale now. I don't have the name, but if you kind of look for it, you may find it. And it's like a cozy a cottage building, and it can give you idea, and then you can draw, you can build some kind of little town or little countryside house. Then you can start to draw what you built, and you can train to build the house from different angles. And maybe the game doesn't do that, but you have to train your mind to do it. So a really cool architecture, kind of medieval. In France we have several towns that have architecture like that, medieval buildings still standing. Yeah, I see some cool design here. Yeah, you see, you can. This drawing looks like really cool, and if you are beginner or intermediate, you may feel like, oh, I cannot draw that. But if you learn just a little bit perspective, and then you see you focus first on the basic shapes, then it may not look as good as that yet, but you can start to draw buildings. Focus on the shape first, and then the details later. See, it's like a big blocks, big blocks here, tack, tack, tack. Here, line like this, then the building follows like this. So you can start from a basic strong shape, like the basic uh, core elements of the city, of the area, and then after you come up with other ideas about how to make it more detailed. And I drew yesterday. I'm going a little bit all over the place, but see, I drew this yesterday. I'm not very good at drawing horse, so I took some photos on Google image to have some like anatomy references, basic, even if it's not perfect, but that, so it may not look too weird. So there's the cape. So this one better looking, because this one you have the composition with the dynamic going from the foreground to a background. It tells a story. Who's the character? Is going in the village? Is it for good reason or evil reasons? So for me, I did a kind of a straight flat angle, because drawing horses is still not comfortable for me, so I prefer to keep it simple. So from a easy angle to draw, rather than going to like a complex angle, and then the horse may look bad. So as long as we train to draw, then later on we can have more interesting angles. There was a video sent. No, it was not a video. It was an email. Like I have a Clip Studio Paint, and they sent a workshop by Seiji Yoshida. He's an environment artist, and he does really cool design. He has a book about houses. And it's a really cool book. And there was a workshop he did about doing something looking a little bit like that, a town on the hill. And I kind of tried it, but I'm not really good at painting, so it was the result was not very it didn't make me feel proud of myself. But I tried, and I think I could try it again with the sketching approach, with the pencil approach, and I think I will get a better result, because that's what I mostly do since I'm a kid. Architecture going on there. Vanishing point is going this way, and then there's another vanishing point that way for all this roof structure. 1, 2, 3, 4. This go in that direction, vanishing point, and this one that direction. So more object studies. Cool, huh? So you see 1, 2, the main wall, the wall here, big tower. So it's, if you think about lines, you have this line, several lines here, some background, mountain, interesting. I think that's where they run away, the children and women children. And then you have the lines for the building. So if you study the drawing, you can try to redraw. You go from these basic lines to have the balance. Then you know about where is the town. Around here is the town. So you try to have the kind of a scale for each element, the basic lines, so you know everything, where is everything. Then slowly you build more details, and you can make a good drawing. You can manage to do something that will look close to that. So here we have a posture study, falling down, climbing up. Cool monster there. More monster design. Well, kind of urukai or ox. Okay, so it's gonna stop there. Just show you a little bit more. See, object study. So you learn to draw many different things. See, I have to learn to draw this for the horses, and I can learn to draw all these things I don't know how to draw very well. You can start with the basic objects like these to train your volume skills. And you have different interesting shapes of weapons. And the dragons, they are like tubes. You can think of them as tubes. Like a Luffy in One Piece is a lot of tubes. Cool, huh? Cool composition. All right. So this is a Middle-earth Traveler by Howe. Very good book. Enjoy drawing.